Foam mattresses and freeze-dried foods are just a few examples of the numerous inventions inspired by NASA that are being used by us today. In fact, since the beginning of the space program, nearly 8% of all the inventions in the whole world have come in some way from NASA research. One of the most successful, the cordless power tool. Check this out. When NASA started planning on how to send humans to the moon, they knew they couldn't go to the store and buy things off the shelf and send it into space. No way. They had to invent nearly everything themselves, including the spacecraft, life support systems, and of course, space tools. Everything from specialized wrenches to small handheld vacuums had to be developed. NASA's space program started in 1958. Now back then, when you needed power for a power tool like a drill, you just found a plug and an outlet, right? Plugged it in, got power. On the moon, there's no plugs. Obviously, outlets on the moon were non-existent, so when the idea for cordless power tools came into play, NASA looked to a power tool giant for help. Any idea which company stepped up to the plate? Well, if you guessed Black & Decker, you're right. Back in the 1950s, the idea for the cordless power tool came from the Black & Decker Corporation. Alonzo Decker noticed that one of the biggest home improvement specialties of the time was aluminum storm window installation. One problem he noticed was that the workmen would rig up their power tools to an outside porch lamp, kind of like this one. And then they'd ask the housewife who was inside the home to turn on the power switch. Shocking, but true. And that worked well until more and more women began entering the workforce, leaving no one at home during the day to turn on the power for those poor men. So in 1961, after years of research and testing, Black & Decker introduced the first cordless drill, an innovation powered by self-contained battery cells. When NASA heard Black & Decker had successfully designed a cordless power system, they had to have it. The first use of cordless tools in space was the Black & Decker zero-impact wrench for the Gemini project. This wrench was great because it spun bolts at zero gravity without spinning the astronaut. Not a problem we had to worry about here on Earth. The big test was a cordless rotary hammer drill for the Apollo moon program. NASA researchers knew that they would need a very powerful drill that could operate at extreme temperatures and in zero-atmosphere conditions to take rock samples from the surface of the moon, all without connecting to a power outlet. Talk about an amazing drill. It helped bring back moon samples that researchers are still studying today.